Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining our online reading session of the book, The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Namaste Saraswati गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कम कर दिवाचल कृपा वंदे श्री गुरु नित्यानंद परमानंद श्री चैतन्य ईश्वर गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदारे कृष्ण कृष्ण भक्ताय नमो नमः वागीशाय वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्य वक्षुर्यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित्तम् अस्य मह्यं वचेत् यस्य देवे परा भक्तिर्यथा देवे तथा गुरु तस्यैते कन्ता यथा प्रकाशन्ते महत्त्वनः यं तत्प्रविश्यं वाचमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयते किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय जय गुरु हरिवाण्या कृष्ण चित्तो विचित्तो परिते तो भजन सुखा प्रमज्जन सांसुष्को यतीन्द्र Hare Krishna. So we are reading from the book The Modern Mission of Srila Prabhupada. We are in volume 3, part 17. Organization and Management. We are in chapter 4, the Governing Body Commission. And in that, we are in maintaining standards and nourishing devotees. Devotion. In that, we are under the section to be watchdogs. Yes. To be watchdogs. During 1970, and a severe threat against ISKCON arose from within. Srila Prabhupada, although quite competent to do so himself, called on GBC to deal with it, thus demonstrating that a major duty of the GBC was to watch out for and rectify any such subversive situation. One should have unflinching faith in Krishna and similarly in the spiritual master. That is the way of understanding the secret of Krishna consciousness. What is the shloka? Does anybody know the shloka? This one should
यस्य
have.
देवे पराभक्ते यथा देवे तथा गुरु तस्यैव कथिताः प्रकाशन्ते महात्मन्.
What is that? यस्य देवे परा भक्तिर् यथा देवी तथा गुरु
तस्यैव हि कथिताः अर्थः.
तस्यैते कथिता ही अर्थ नहीं तस्य not तस्यैवे is तस्यैते तस्यैते कथिता ही अर्थ. When at that time, that means when one has such faith, then तस्यैते कथिता ही अर्थ. Katita means firmly. Artha, the meaning. Prakashante Mahatmana. Yes. Okay. Unfortunately, an attempt has been made lately. Okay. One should have unflinching faith in Krishna and similarly in the spiritual master. That is the way of understanding the secret of Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, an attempt has been made lately in our society to shake this formula. This mischievous attempt has done a great harm. But if you, the members of the governing body commission, can rectify this mischievous attempt, then still there is hope of making our progress uninterruptedly. I'm very glad to know that the GBC is actively working to rectify the submersive situation which has been weakening the very foundation of our society. All you members of the GBC, please always remain very vigilant in this connection so that our society's growth may not go on unimpeded by such poisonous elements. Your preaching in New Vrindavan, as well as intensified study of our literatures with seriousness, is very much encouraging. Please continue this program with vigor and re-establish the solidity of our movement. During this turbulent period, Srila Prabhupada also defined one duty of the GBC: to check any bad disciple. The method to do so, predict, predictably, to see to the devotees' basic spiritual practices. What is this? Okay. Chanakya Pandit says, if there is one tree in the forest producing nice aromatic flowers, that one tree can glorify the whole forest by the flavor of its flowers. Similarly, if there is one tree in whose cavity there is little fire, that one tree can burn its ashes. Sorry, that one tree can burn into ashes the whole forest. Yes. So this smile is applicable. This simile, okay, this simile is applicable anywhere. What is that smile? See, this simile is applicable anywhere. In a family, if there is one good boy, he can glorify the whole family. And similarly, if there is a bad boy, he can turn the whole family into ashes. Similarly, in this institution, if there is a bad disciple, he can burn the whole institution into ashes. The GBC body is therefore to see that every member is following the rules and regulations and chanting 16 rounds regularly on the beads. Yes, this analogy is very, 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 very important, and it can be extended to many things in Krishna consciousness. Even devotees' families, what to speak of. It can destroy the movement, it can destroy the ashram. Uh, one good person can destroy, well, can elevate the whole ashram, and one person who is uh, who is acting in a disgraceful manner, then he can destroy the whole ashram. It happens. It's like Duryodhana, one person is enough for the Kauravas to burn into ashes. They all were killed. And what happened to Yaduvamsha? So Yaduvamsha was also like that. There was one Samba, I think, Samba or somebody um, who went as a as a imitating pregnant woman. Who is that? Samba?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. So Samba goes to um, ask the as he dresses like a woman, and everybody will go and ask about her. That's all. The whole Yaduvamsha. What is going to Musalam? It's called as Musalam. Iron, big. So what is called as I don't know the English. It is called in Sanskrit. It's called Musalam. Iron, big. What is that? Um, I don't know. I forgot that particular thing. What is going to take birth? That is what is mentioned in the 11th canto. Can anybody remember? What is that iron?
Iron Ball. The Iron Ball that they had is going to be the destruction of the family members or destruction of the
Iron,
Yadu dynasty.
iron, iron ball, no? Okay,
Yes, they
yes.
had an Iron Ball. He said the same thing that you have under the stomach or under the cloth is going to be the destruction of the Yadu dynasty.
Yeah,
Because they went to mess with the sages. Yeah.
yes. So mm, that is called as actually the word is called Mosalam. In Telugu, there is a proverb uh, that Mosalam will take birth, and that is the cause of destruction. So what will happen? They will once Ugrasena sees that the whole big iron ball, then he will tell to ground it, powder it down, and then throw it uh, in the
River.
sea. Yeah, in the seashore. So what will happen? They will become iron spikes or iron like bamboo sticks or something like that. They will become, and the last piece they will throw, and a fish will swallow it. So that fish, oh, it's a whole thing. Krishna could have stopped all these things, but no. So like that, this is very very important analogy which Prabhupada gives.
What
Ekas
was that,
Chandratam.
Prabhu?
Sorry,
What was that, Prabhu? You were saying that he used to dress like women. Like, what is that story?
what is that?
You were saying like
Is it?
Samba used to dress like women and he used
Yeah, yeah.
to.
Sama dresses like women, and he will. And these the other Yadus, what they will do, they will take Samba dressed as women, as pregnant women, and as just as if he is pregnant, and they will go to the sages and like play a game with them, play some, like they in one sense they are trying to what is that, uh,
They was asking for a prediction. Like, what do you
yeah,
think I will
yeah,
have?
yeah. That's right. But actually, they are not asking the prediction. They are only making
Fun.
fun of the sages. Yeah, making fun of the sages by saying that, oh, when is our lady going to be pregnant? Who is going to take birth from her? The sages
Hmm.
no. Then sages will say, iron ball or Muslim will take birth, and then yes, Muslim. I forgot the name in Sanskrit. I want to
Yeah.
I want to know the name of the Sanskrit. Can anybody find it out? I want to know the Sanskrit name because in Telugu we know it is Musalam, but it's actually um, um, I'm
There's
not able to find
Mosala
it.
Parva also. Mosala Parva.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, it's called Musala. It's called Musala.
Hmm.
Musalam. It's called Musala. Musala means a club. Actually, a club will take place. It's not just ball. It's like iron club like thing. I think so. Wait 1 second. Let me. Yes, it's called Musala. Hmm. Iron Club. Oh, yes. It is there in the 11th canto, chapter 1. This chapter hints the destruction of Yaduna dynasty, which took place. Appearance of Iron Club. It's called as Iron Club. It is called as Iron Club. F8. Okay. Okay. See, the word is there here. Here. To that holy places, the young boys of Yadu had brought Samba, the son of Jambavati, dressed in woman's garb. I'm reading the translation. Kindly hear. Playfully approaching the great sages gathered there, the boys grabbed hold of the sages' feet and impudently asked them with feigned humility, "Oh, learned Brahmanas, this black-eyed pregnant woman has something to ask you. She is too embarrassed to inquire for herself. She is just about to give birth and is very desirous of having a son. Since all of you are great sages with infallible will, please tell us whether her child will be a boy or a girl." You see? And the next is, this thus ridiculed by deceit, the sages became angry, O king, and told the boys, "Fools! She will bear you an iron club that will destroy your entire dynasty. It is called as Musalam. I told you, na? This is called as Musalam. Yes. It is, the sloka is Evam pralabdha munayas tad ucha kupita nripa janayisyati vo manda musalam kulanashanam. It's called as Musalam. In Telugu, we say that Musalam Putindi. Musalam Putindi means the Musalam has take birth in between the brothers. That we say the family Musalam has take birth. So Musalam means even from childhood I was hearing this very word from my mother every time. Whenever many times I heard this word, many thousands of times. But I never asked my mother what is the meaning of this Musalam. But when I read Krishna book, then not Krishna book. When I read the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, then I understood. Oh, this is Musalam. That is why that saying is there. So yes, and then the rest of the thing is that that Iron Club comes out, and then they will they will say what is to be done. Can you imagine a man giving birth to a iron club? From where it would have come? To think of itself is a great. How it would have happened? Hmm.
So that it came out actually.
Obviously, it would otherwise how it. Okay, you want me to read the whole thing? Read the
No,
translation.
I was just asking. I don't know the
So they
full
got
You should
story.
read the.
and they went to the Kuru
Actually,
dynasty.
yeah, Ugrasen. They will go to Ugrasen. See,
And where
see,
did
I'll tell you. I'll read the translations. Upon hearing the curse of the sages, the terrified boys quickly uncovered the belly of Samba, and indeed they observed that there was an iron club. See, how is that could have happened? They uncovered it, and there was a club inside.
Mhm.
I don't know how it worked, but it is there. The young men of Yadu dynasty said, "Oh, what have we done? We are so unfortunate. What will our family members say to us?" Speaking thus and being very disturbed, they returned their homes, taking the club with them. The Yadu boys, the luster of their faces completely faded, brought the club into the royal assembly, and in the presence of all the Yadavas, they told King Ugrasena what had happened. O King Parikshit, then the inhabitants of Dwarka heard of infallible curse of the Brahmin, saw the club, they were astonished and distraught with fear. After having the club ground to bits, after having the club ground to bits, King Ahuka, Ugrasena of Yadura, personally threw the pieces along with the remaining lump of iron into the water of the ocean. A certain fish swallowed the iron lump, and bits of the iron carried back to the shore by the waves implanted themselves there and grew into tall, sharp canes. You see, the fish was caught in an ocean along with other fish in fisherman's net. The iron lump in the fish's stomach was taken by the hunter Jara, who fixed it as an arrowhead at the end of his shaft. Knowing fully the significance of all these events, the Supreme Lord, though capable of reversing the Brahmana's curse, did not wish to do so. Rather, in his form of time, he gladly sanctioned the events. Yes. Okay. Anyhow, this is what happened, and finally, the rest of the story is, they went to Prabhasa Kshetra. That is called as Prabhasa Kshetra. Okay. Commonly, the GBC were to act as watchdogs. Continuing to read, Srila Prabhupada wanted the GBC to act as watchdogs, saying that the proper standards of Krishna consciousness are maintained, and in all temples that they open, that asserts are protected and their philosophical deviation is not allowed to creep in. Yes, there is a lecture by Maharaj by name Who Will Save ISKCON. Kindly hear that particular lecture. Who will save ISKCON? It's a very beautiful lecture Maharaj gave in Salem, a particular lecture. I think in the month of December, it was cold and Maharaj was sitting in the sun and he was giving the lecture. It was in the old temple. Hmm. So now I have invested the GBC for maintaining the standard of our society. So to keep the GBC very vigilant, I have already given you full directions in my books. As ISKCON became a global spiritual organization, there arose a need to safeguard its assets from mishandling and misappropriation. This is very, very important. For this, very strong management is required and vigilant observation. Regarding the International Trust Board, we are now expanding, and so our interests should be carefully guarded. Certain that the 12 GBC members are being trained strictly under my guidance so that they will protect the interests of the society very carefully. All our property should be well protected, and I think in every document, my name as founder Acharya should be mentioned. Special care should be taken that no property can be sold or mortgaged by local members, as was done by Gaurasundara. This is my only concern. When a GBC member posited, posit, posited means posit, assume as a fact. Okay, when I'm posed or something like that. When a GBC member posited, we should not have, we should not make a heaven for rascals. Srila Prabhupada agreed and added, how will it be done unless you GBC members become very strong and with good brains? Some discrepancies were inevitable, but the GBC were to be vigilant to protect the society and keep it as pure as possible. I am glad that you have admitted the GBC members not very appropriately discharging their duty. I do not mind this discrepancy, but you should be alert. You and all GBC members. We are now growing in volume all over the world, dealing with public. People have respect for us. Now it is time for GBC members to be very, very careful so that people may not point out any black spot in the behavior of the society. It's very, very important. Generally, we go to joke on books. Sometimes people get very fried with the way people, devotees behave. Even I should say myself also. Um, it is somewhat we may do it intentionally, we may do it unintentionally, but there is we have to understand it affects the future devotees also. In India, a lot of problem has caused due to life membership, registering people through life member, getting donations through life membership. They don't give rooms, they don't give books, they don't give the facilities which are promised. They take the money, people get fried like anything, and they keep the grudge like anything. Of course, some people don't grudge because they are given to a good cause. They know ISKCON is a good organization as an organization, but they have reservations. At least my father has a negative opinion about life membership. I also have the negative. I'm fried with ISKCON like anything regarding life membership. I made my brother life member, and it was initial period of Krishna consciousness. And actually, that didn't disturb me from joining the temple because I joined based on hearing Prabhupada's lectures. So that didn't disturb me a lot because I was habituated for so many things. The first impression was a bad impression for me for ISKCON. It was the first impression which I went to the temple on Janmashtami. There was Mukunda Mukunda song in Dashavatar movie of Kamal Hassan. That movie they were playing the song and there were girls dancing, and I was thinking, what is this going on? And I heard Prabhupada's lectures, then I understood that everybody is not a devotee. Previously, I was thinking everybody is a devotee. Not after hearing Prabhupada's lectures, I understood that so many people are there who don't follow Prabhupada. They are whimsical. At that time itself, even before getting all these things. So you come through controversies sometimes. So I came like that. Even in ashram also, I had so much of debates with the senior, so-called senior devotees regarding Jiva fall down, regarding Ritviks, regarding footnotes for Prabhupada's books. Can you imagine? Can you give footnotes for Prabhupada's books? Because you don't like, you want to give footnotes of Prabhupada's books. What kind of a creature are you? Are you coming from hell or what? Uh, and hospital, midday meals. These were the very great problems for me to develop faith in the present gurus in ISKCON. Actually, I didn't take initiation for 3 years, 4 years. I neglected because I didn't have any faith on anybody. I was fried, totally fried like anything. I'm telling with my wholeheartedly. What is these people? They are saying they're in a great moment, and I heard Prabhupada speaking about so many things, and these people are like a disgrace for the moment. Huh? Why they are in the moment at all? Why they are at all in the moment? Why you have the beads in your hands just because I should not offend you? That's all. But your attitude is not at all good in Krishna consciousness. Just because you are humble, so-called, you are folding your hands, you are, speaking so softly, some philosophy, mumbo jumbo. I am soul, I am spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, I am servant of Krishna. You may say it is not mumbo jumbo, but you know everything. You know Krishna is supreme. You know everything, but you messed up with an acharya's great legacy. You messed up with Acharya's rules and regulations. I mean, you messed up with Acharya's main foundation, that is the books. So what kind of person you are? So I was having these all thoughts in my mind. Even when Guru Maharaj told me personally also, why don't you take now initiation? And I said, no, I don't want to take initiation now. And Maharaj told an instance to the immediate senior devotee who was there near me that there are so many devotees. He didn't say like me, that there's so many devotees who don't take initiation and they run around in the temples. 10 years, 20 years in the moment, they don't take initiation just because they are fried with so many things. And it was at that time, it was like that for me because I was having full faith on Prabhupada. I was like ardent follower of Prabhupada. In inch here and there, uh, you know, I could argue with so many people, with so many angles, because I was hearing Prabhupada's for many, many days and days, months and months, whole year. It was like absorbed like that. Sometimes it is too much, but I can understand. But that is what is saving me. Otherwise, I don't have any qualification to be a brahmachari, to be as a like so-called devotee. Uh, and when I went for books, I got so much of backlash. So many life members, they were cursing ISKCON like anything. And that too, if you go to Chennai, Saukarpet, there are so many Hindi people. And if you go to Paris, I don't know whether you all know the Chennai city or not, but it is like we go for books to shop, house to house. We go everywhere. All types of book distribution I did in Chennai. I did running trains. I did stopping trains. I did within the trains, within the platform, everywhere, wherever it is possible. We were went traveling Sankirtan party. We're going here and there, traveling for months and months, going out. And we know so many people curse is gone in many, many ways. So we have to be very, very careful because we are dealing with public money and it has got lot of heavy, hefty karma. Why devotees suffer and fall down? Because they embezzle or they pilferage, all these things of karmi money. So many people. Every time and now you get a notice from people that so and so brahmachari, so and so grahastha looted this much of money. Please don't encourage donation to these big centers. And there are devotees till now in the moment who have done so much big scams and they are still running the show as GBCs, as zonal secretaries, and so many people, so many. I can name many. That's like flow. There are flow of devotees, and I can see them now also, and they're going on. Nothing can be done. Thousands and thousands and lakhs, crores and crores of money. Even in United States, there are devotees. They have done crores and crores of scams, millions of dollars, thousands of dollars. So only Krishna will take care. Nothing can be done.
Prabhupada said that if you take one penny for Krishna, you'll have to go to hell.
I don't know whether they take whether they think like that. I don't know whether they're afraid of hell. So the thing is, people take it for granted, all these things. But they have a severe bad karma, actually. That's why they suffer. You can see they are haunted by ghosts. Their family life is disrupted. Can you imagine? They don't have children. They don't have children. Their wife is ran away with somebody else, or he is having so many problems. These all scammers are having all sorts of problems. They don't understand that their children are going to suffer for what they are doing, they are going to do. And they don't think if he's a brahmachari, fine, he is going to destroy his own life, fine. But don't spoil other women's life, other brahmachari's life, other sannyasis, other your guru's life. Don't spoil others' life. You spoil your life, fine. Don't bring a disgrace to others. Just go and do yourself. Okay, you destroy your life, fine. But don't destroy other Matajis, Prabhujis, Grahastas, children. Don't spoil their life. You're taking your karma and others' karma on your head. There are so many Matajis. Why you have to dally with other women? Why? You don't. Why? So many women you can marry. Why? Why there are so many Prabhujis? Why you have to have extramarital affairs? Why? This is very, very important. This everything. You see, money means you have illicit sex, you have illicit relationships, you have everything is there in that money. That money. Kali is sitting in that money. So Prabhupada is so very, very careful. In the United States, because it is dollars, it is Indians, Bengalis, Gujaratis, Telugu people. Oh Krishna, it is very, very dangerous. So many Bengalis, devotees, they've gone, destroyed their lives. So many. So, Hare Krishna. Okay, somebody else can read. Okay, Achita Prabhu, you can read.
Sure, Prabhuji. I hope the GBC, in cooperation with the sannyasis in their touring program, will be able to keep vigilance systematically in order to keep the society as pure as possible. In their day-to-day activities, the first business is that the GBC members must see to the management of their zones as watchdogs. They were to follow Srila Prabhupada's example by keeping a watchful eye on every feature of our Krishna consciousness society activity. You mentioned that you are no longer much occupied with seeing that the rent and mortgage is paid and that the incense is sold, but GBC means to be occupied with everything in the zone. It is not that now we are creatures, we can neglect all other points. No, the GBC member is supposed to know everything and anything about the condition and situation of all matters within his jurisdiction. That is the meaning of secretary. So, because we are engaged in many fields of activity, I am especially relying upon that knowledge of my GBC assistants and secretaries to manage everything properly. But if we do not take time to understand how the financial matters are going on, then at any moment we may experience some calamity due to our inattention to these matters. Therefore, you should try to keep yourself always informed how the financial matters are improving and keep your watchful eye on every feature of our Krishna consciousness activity. That is also part of preaching work. This watchful eye was to discern even the minutest details, as demonstrated in the following anecdote. At the ISKCON Center in Los Angeles, circa 1974-75, Srila Prabhupada took an unannounced walk through the temple kitchen. He found a single pot that was left sitting on the counter, which had been used to cook an offering. which was empty but left unwashed. Srila Prabhupada told his assistant Shrutakirti Das to call Jayatirtha Das, the local GBC representative, and Tulasi Das, the temple president. Srila Prabhupada was furious, shouting. He demanded to know why that single pot was left unwashed. Jaidev and Tulasi both tried to argue that it was not their direct duty. They were not the cooks or the pot washers. Srila Prabhupada continued, shouting so much that Jayatirtha broke down and started crying, going down on his knees to plead for mercy, so that Srila Prabhupada would stop his chastisement. Just one single pot was left unwashed. That was the standard that Srila Prabhupada himself taught and set for us to follow. To uphold those standards was the type of duty that the GBC representatives were meant to uphold. Traveling.
Okay, one second.
Yeah.
If you see this one, after Prabhupada became furious on the GBC, not on the cooks. See, Prabhupada called the GBC local to call, told his assistant to call JT the local GBC representative because he's in the temple. Because Los Angeles is a big temple, so the local GBC will remain there, and the temple president also. So the point is that Prabhupada became furious on them. But if you see nowadays, if you go to any temple, the pots are very, very black. The down, they are cooked again and again and again and again with that same black pots. Pots are not at all good. Can you imagine? The temple is like that. Most of the temple, I don't know. I've seen so many temples. They don't. I don't know. Salem, they have a different standard as such, like Paka standard. They do it very Paka. But I have not seen any place other than Salem when they have so standardized in such a way that their pots are shining like anything. Nowhere. Many temples, they have so many problems of devotees not able to wash the pots. It's very important. The pots, otherwise, can't say to people that Radharani is coming and cooking. What Radharani will come and cook? You see your pots, how they are. So it's very important. Even in the house, where we are staying, that also matters a lot. You should not just like that cook on blackened pots, specifically the kadai or the wok. The wok are a barbaric. The woks and all are ultimately nasty like anything. Everywhere. Mm. Yes. Okay, continue, bro.
Traveling. Directing GBC members to travel and preach and to look after the well-being of the devotees and temples in their zones. Srila Prabhupada told them, don't be stagnant, go and preach. Please continue to travel among the centers and preach as much as possible. I think it's best if the GBC members always travel on the Sankirtan party, their zone, and go from one village to another and visit the temples to see how the students are learning and do my work. In this way, they will avoid the propensity to sit down and plot and scheme how to eat and sleep. So you can advise them all to travel extensively on Sankirtan all over their zone. I am pleased to learn that you are organizing a traveling Sankirtan party. That is our real business. Travel and preach, distribute literature and prasad. I want now that all of my GBC secretaries do my work. Let me sit tight in Los Angeles and write my books. Now you be always traveling here and there, visiting the centers in your zone, seeing how things are going on and how the students are making spiritual progress. All you appointed GBC men must do the work that I am doing. Therefore, I have recommended this traveling extensively for the GBC men. just as I am doing it. If I did not travel there, there would be no nice organization. Traveling and preaching, that is the Sankirtan movement. GBC means now they should tour very extensively. That is the first principle of the GBC. Not to sit down in one place and pass resolutions. No, they must be active. They must act like me. As I am an old man, I am traveling all over the world. Now, to give me relief, the GBC members, I shall expand into 12 more so that they can exactly work like me. You are setting a very good example in that you yourself are going with the traveling party. The Vedic concept of the commander is that he must be in front in the fight, not that he sits back behind the lines. Your program of traveling to the nearest temples is a good program. You should continue that. Our GBC members should always visit the different temples to see that everything goes on well and to see that the management is being done very nicely. GBC means tour extensively with a caveat. Extensive touring means expanding the mission. Simply touring is not required. Do something substantial to increase the society's interests. One must take multi responsibilities. We must expand. Appointment and tenure of GBC members. In July 1970, shortly after first establishing the GBC, Srila Prabhupada issued the Direction of Management, a legal document outlining the system whereby he wanted ISKCON managed. Therein he gave the names of 12 disciples whom he had appointed as the initial GBC members, stating, "These personalities are now considered as my direct representatives." The Direction of Management gave tenure for 3 years, after which the temple presidents would vote to re-elect or replace GBC members. However, Srila Prabhupada never practically instituted this voting system, nor did he limit tenure for GBC members in good standing. New GBC appointments were made by himself, often after consulting with GBC members. During May 1977, the GBC selected a committee to ask Srila Prabhupada about the movement was to be managed after his departure. One topic concerned GBC members when asked, how long should they remain in office? Srila Prabhupada replied, they should remain for good, that is, for life. Selected men are chosen, so they cannot be changed. Rather, if some competent man comes, he should be added, selected by the board of the GBC. Although the GBC is not to be changed, Srila Prabhupada granted that if a GBC member leaves, he should be replaced and another be elected. GBC meetings to deal with the various complex issues that inevitably arose in a rapidly burgeoning international movement. Plenary meetings of the GBC became a necessity. From a 1974 letter, yearly once or twice there should be a GBC meeting held to discuss all these intricate questions. This meeting can be held once in India and once in Europe or America in my presence. Early in 1974, Srila Prabhupada wrote a GBC man, let us all meet at Mayapur and chalk out a year's work for our great mission. The chalking out was supposed to be fixed and adhered to. At Mayapur last time, most of the time was spent discussing, but no program was made firm for the year. For example, our Tamal Krishna Goswami never proposed to go to the USA at the meeting, but now he has decided to go back to the USA. Of course, he can go back, but if the matter is discussed at the meeting, then a GBC vote could be taken and they could have selected a replacement. Now I have to bother with this replacement. It's not difficult for me. But why wasn't there discussion at the meeting? What happened to Jagat Purusha in Bombay? He is an experienced man in Bombay, so why he should be changed to Delhi? This change of presidents is to be made in the GBC meeting. In the middle of the year, there is no question of change. The AGS can continue as president. 3 times changing president is not good. It should first be conjointly considered by the GBC. Shortly after that first meeting, Srila Prabhupada instituted it as an annual event. Regarding Mayapur, as you have begun, this program should be regularly followed once a year. Meet in Mayapur and chalk out activities for the year. Then next year, meet and see how far things are being done and if necessary, make changes for responsible GBC and presidents, etc. The meeting is very valuable and must be carried out regularly every year. Thus, an annual GBC meeting was fixed with Mayapur as the venue. Srila Prabhupada instructed that an annual meeting should be held in Mayapur. The first such meeting was held in 1974, but no records exist of this meeting. At the 1975 Mayapur festival, however, record keeping of the annual meetings began. Although initially Srila Prabhupada had mooted the idea of having yearly once or twice a GBC meeting, once in India and once in Europe or America, after the annual Mayapur meeting was fixed, he preferred to keep it at that and not have others. Out of the 9 responses you got from GBC members for your proposal to reduce the price of Back to Godhead magazine to the temples to 10 cents, there are 7 in favor. Therefore, I say yes. By this system of taking a majority vote on any given proposal and then submitting the final decision to me for approval, there is no necessity for holding a GBC meeting. So much money will be spent unnecessarily for travel and big plans will be made only. So, what is the use? Simply go on as you have done in this case, and that will be best. There will not be a GBC meeting on Janmashtami in New Vrindavan. The important thing now for GBC members is that they go on working. It is not important to hold a meeting for passing resolutions, etc. The best time and place is Mayapur on Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. That is not only the best for me, but for everyone. Mayapur is meant for that. If possible, all devotees from all our centers should go for 8 days at that time. There is no need for the Janmashtami meeting. Go on working and send me regular reports. The Mayapur meetings were to be held before the annual festival. Regarding the GBC meeting to be held in Mayapur 1975, the meeting should be held 5 days before the actual festival is to begin, and it will be held in my presence. GBC members were not to miss the festival on account of the meetings, which were thus scheduled earlier than previously. It has come to my attention that the GBC have not been able to fully participate in the Mayapur festivities due to the annual meeting. Therefore, I am asking all GBC members to come to Mayapur early and hold the meeting in my presence beginning the morning of March 6th. Much of the initial work at these meetings was centered on forming a managerial structure for ISKCON, including drafting a constitution. We are in the experimental stage, but in the next meeting of the GBC members, they should form a constitution how the GBC members manage the whole affair. Now you are a practical business manager, so we are expanding by Krishna's grace. So try to make some formula so our institution may go on without any difficulty. In your letter to Rameshwara, you call for a meeting of the GBC to develop a system of management and communications which will eliminate chances of recurrences. This is a good suggestion you have made. So when we next meet together, you must give it some practical shape. The matter regarding bylaws and the articles of incorporation should be definitely brought up at our annual Mayapur meeting. The idea of GBC changing zones for 2 to 3 months of the year is also good. bring up this point at the Mayapur meeting and vote on it. Eventually, the temple presidents were also brought into the decision-making process with an official meeting to review the new GBC proposals. The GBC members will meet and vote on their proposals. After they have passed a decision, it will go immediately to the president's committee. The presidents may agree, reject, or amend, and then the proposal with disagreement stated or fully agreed goes to his divine grace for final decision. In this way, the presidents will have a say in the matters. Satsvarup. After all the days meetings of the GBC are finished, we will have a meeting of the temple presidents. If at their meeting by a 2/3 majority vote, they suggest any amendments to the resolutions or make new resolutions, these will be sent back to the GBC, who will meet again and who will again vote. Tamal Krishna. The presidents will meet and they will give any suggested changes to the GBC. And on the afternoon of the 4th, the GBC will consider all changes. And that will be the end of the meeting. Srila Prabhupada. If the GBC does not decide by the decision of the president's meeting, then I shall decide. Satsvarupa. Yes. Srila Prabhupada. All right.
Okay, Prabhu. Some of the devotee can read. Thank you very much. Okay, Paramatmananda Prabhu. You can continue. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu is listening only. He can't read now.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you. Okay, Asita Prabhu, you have to continue. That's
Okay,
because I
bro.
have
I'll
something.
continue till 4 minutes. Then I have a meeting actually at 8:15.
No problem.
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Cooperation within a hierarchy. When stating that things must be done very nicely by cooperation, Srila Prabhupada made it clear that this is more than just a genteel management policy. It is a Vaishnava principle.
What is one by genteel? So polite, refined, respectable. Okay.
Things must be done very nicely by cooperation. That is wanted. Everyone should remember that we are serving Krishna, and everyone should remember the other person is serving Krishna. And because he is serving Krishna, he is not my servant, he is my master. That should be always in view. Therefore, we address Prabhu, you are my master. We never address you are my servant. We are trained to say, my brother, that Prabhu, such and such. Prabhu means master. Nobody thinks that he himself is master. He should always think that everyone is his master because he is serving the master. This is our philosophy. The spirit of unity and cooperation that Srila Prabhupada tried so much to foster in ISKCON was especially imperative in management. For by the Yad Yad Acharati Shreyan principle, the example set by the leaders would largely set the tenor for the whole movement, for better or worse. If all you leaders cannot work together, then how can you expect the others to cooperate with you? Differences may be there, but still you have to cooperate together. In devolving the management of ISKCON to the GBC, Srila Prabhupada wanted its members to work cooperatively as a team, keeping regular contact with each other. I have already formed a governing body commission, so in my absence, they will manage the affairs of the society. If you all combine together, manage the affairs of the society nicely, that will give me great pleasure. I want that all administration may be done by all of you 12 GBC members all over the world. Always keep in touch and consult matters all together for practical execution. Please go on working cooperatively in this way and always keep in touch with the other GBC members. Such communication will give you spiritual strength to make the right decisions. for pushing the Sankirtana movement, giving some idea of how collective management would work and including himself in the managerial process. Srila Prabhupada wrote, you happen to be a member of the GBC, so whatever you want to do or whatever ideas you want to introduce in the management of a society, please write in a letter and distribute the copies to all the GBC members along with one copy to me also. Then collect the opinions of each and every GBC member, and if the majority supports the idea, then it should be taken as a fact for being carried out in our society. The majority vote and my opinion should be taken. When the majority opinion is present, my opinion will be yes or no. In most cases, it will be yes, unless it is grievously against our principles. Examples of the kind of issues GBC members were to collectively resolve regarding distribution of spiritual sky incense profits to elevate financial difficulties. You GBC members decide among yourselves as to the proper course of action. So far, the purchase of press is concerned, that is a GBC matter for which you must consult the others. Regarding the editorial policy of Back to Godhead magazine, if the editorial board is not expert enough, they should be changed. These things are to be seen to immediately by the GBC. The board should be judged immediately and changed if required. Another, when a GBC man wrote that he was contemplating printing a daily newspaper, Srila Prabhupada replied, the governing body may consider these points and do the needful. Hare Krishna. Actually, I have a meeting that's of Sanskrit Shuddha. So to learn Sanskrit. So that is going to happen.
Okay, I'll just take it from here. Okay. It gave Srila Prabhupada much pleasure to see his GBC confer on administrative affairs. So I will read from here tomorrow. Okay, we'll continue from here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here and we'll continue from tomorrow from here. So it gave Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Put the bookmark. So anybody has anything to say? Otherwise we'll stop here. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Anshakल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। इस भक्ति विकास स्वामी महाराज की जय। अनमोल विष्णु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
जय।